Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Great looks versus great game. Now, one of the things I will ask is don't just automatically say something without hearing the whole video. You know, whatever length this video is, if you comment before the end of the video, I'll just delete the comment. Seriously, I want you to hear the whole thing before commenting, because I want you to think about what I'm about to say. Because, you know, you have a great many people out there talk about great looks, right? And, you know, of course, you have some people talking about game. And game encompasses a lot more. But let's talk about looks for a second. Let's be real, looks do matter. Looks do matter. Women, that's one of the things that they taking in consideration. Because I've always said everything matters with women. They looking at every single part of you. So your looks matter. And when we talking about looks, you know, facial features and all of that, really everything. But most men think it's just the face. Okay. And say you have great looks. Say you're like, you know, very attractive, consistently attractive. You can go most places. That's still a limit. That's still a limit because it still depends on what a particular woman thinks is good looking. All 8 billion women on the planet don't think your looks are top notch. If you get in a room of 100 women, 90 of them could think, oh yeah, great looking, 10 of them don't. But then ironically, you want that woman you want those, like one of those 10 women who don't think you look good. And see, you know, you're going to get some play, and yeah, you still get some play with your look, some attention. You still get some attention, and depending on the situation, hey, you can even get sex. Depending on the situation. Usually in situations where, you know, the woman knows she ain't gonna see you again. She don't care. It's like that one night stand or whatever. You know? And that's cool. That's cool. Right? So yeah, and it does matter. Let's just be real. It's gonna be an attention grabber for those who think the man has great looks. Right? But then great game. See, game encompasses more. It encompasses more than looks. See, game isn't like some thing where you're manipulating somebody. No, game is just communication, talking to the woman, everything. You know, using something. Really, all game is just really attracting the women or getting a connection to the women without having those looks. So which one is better? Which one is better? Because here's the thing. Looks are limited to the women who find the man physically attractive. They limited. But then you got some men that complaining, they talking about handsome man game and everything. So apparently they still not getting what they want. But then there's game itself. Now, game, you're not going to get every woman with that, but it encompasses a lot more. Like wearing like certain clothes. Like you get some guys, maybe they average looking, but then they know how to dress up. You know, maybe they know how to talk to a woman. Talking to a woman, that is very important. You know, they had something else. I don't know. You know, got some jazz in the background. I've known some musicians, they were getting played just because the women liked them as musicians. That was their game. Or I remember I used to go to poetry slams and everything. Poetry sessions, rather. And they had their women that would show up there just because they like poets or whatnot. That's their game. But see, a great game is whatever you use to attract a woman, right? And it might not be because you're like, you know, consistently handsome. You might look all right, but then you have some other stuff. You know how to dress, you know how to talk, you know, you have confidence. There's a lot more that goes with it, right? So then the question becomes, which one is better? Which one is better? Now, personally, I'm gonna say game. Personally, I'm gonna say game. Now, somebody else might say something else. And it's like, that's cool. If you have great looks, but let's be real out here. How many men have looks to where they can get that many women? If they go in a room of 100 women, the average man might be good. In fact, might be great if he can get 30 of them. The average man, if he can get 30 of them, he's doing great. In fact, even a man who's considered consistently handsome could probably get that. There's very, 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 very few men who are going to have some looks that's going to just attract women of all cultures, all races, all countries, all ethnic groups, or anything like that. And plus, what did I talk about earlier this week? Social class and everything. There's so many factors that go in there. But then when you have game, you figured out how to get what you want. That's why you can get some guys, and they might be considered medium ugly or even ugly, but they'll have game though, And if they have great game, they can get a large number of women. So it's like, it's an interesting conversation, but it's something that you really have to think about. Now, if you have great looks, hey, that's great. But how many men really have that? But any man can develop game. Indeed, even some men with some looks. When you get all these channels, channels right here on YouTube talking about handsome man game, apparently they need that too. They need some type of game too. Because I even talked about that in my book, Nice Guys and Players. What about the players who can get every woman except the one that they want? But then game, that's more, you bringing in more things. Because with the looks thing, that's basically face. Let's be real. When we're talking about looks, we're talking about face. But then when we're talking about game, you can bring in more. You can dress a certain way. Hey, you can put on certain types of cologne and everything. Wear certain types of shoes. You can walk a certain way. There's so much in there. There's so much in there. So which one, I want y'all to think about that. Now, if you got both, and really, no matter what you look like, you should have both. But if you have both, great looks and great game, hey, you need to be doing videos or something. But when you're talking about verses, now, like I said, from a personal perspective, like having game most, because you expand what you can do. One thing, the only problem with looks is you limit it to whichever women think you look good. And very few men, very, 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 very few men are going to have those great looks that's going to just appeal to a great number of women. The average man, even a good looking man, is only going to appeal to like a certain group of women, no matter what. But the game expands it, because you got some guys out there, they might run into a woman who don't think they all that at first, but then all they need to do is just talk to that woman. All they need to do is talk to that woman, but their game is their mouthpiece. I want y'all to think about that. Just think about that. That's why I wanted y'all to hear the whole thing. Just think. Don't respond automatically. It's not automatic. Think first. All right? Really think about it. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for right now. And I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.